Hey guys, welcome back to A Page in the Chapter, or welcome if you are new here. My name is Paige. I like to read a lot of books. I like to share my very strange thoughts with you guys on the internet for you to hopefully enjoy. Today I'm going to be giving you some recommendations that you should read for Valentine's Day. I was debating whether to do this because I know Valentine's Day is not a huge holiday and it certainly is not really going to be a Valentine's Day this year, especially not in England, but it is still a holiday and I gave you Christmas recommendations, I gave you Halloween recommendations, so I should give you some Valentine's Day recommendations too. These are not all romances. I really wanted to put together a list of books that was not just some romances, because not everyone wants to read that on Valentine's Day. There is some fantasy with romance elements, there is some romances, but there is also some non-fiction and some just completely not love-related books at all. If you just want a distraction, then I recommend these books. I think these books will really pull you in. If you guys like the sound of this video and you like what you've seen so far, then please feel free to hit that big red subscribe button down below and stay tuned for my future content. Or you could peruse my channel. You could check out some of my other videos before making that commitment. I understand, I do it too. I like to watch a lot before I commit. So I have a whole playlist of recommendations for you guys to check out if this isn't really your thing. So you guys can go do that. And I guess with that, we can get on into the recommendations. So the first book that I would like to recommend to you is Again by E. Lockhart. This has like a decently low rating on Goodreads, and I can see why, but I thought it was amazing. So this is essentially a parallel universe, like different timelines romance. It follows our main character Adelaide as she is in high school and she's experiencing like her first loves for the first time and being torn between those like teenage decisions of should I text, should I go for it, should I not? And the book displays different ways that the story could have turned out depending on different decisions that she makes. It's a really cool concept, and I will say it can be confusing at times. I can see why people don't like it. It's not 100% clear, but stick with it and I promise it's worth it. I mean, it's E. Lockhart, so you already know that it's going to be beautifully written. It really captures the essence of it. I'm recommending this because yes, it has a love plot like running through it, but it is much more a book about getting over someone and familial love and refinding yourself and moving on than it is about love. I said in my wrap up, if you guys saw that, I'll link it for you if you haven't. I said that this book really reminds me of Right Where You Left Me by Taylor Swift. I stick by that, I stand by that. I think this book just has that essence to it. So if you're looking for something a bit more somber or honestly kind of uplifting towards the end of this book, then I think this is a really good choice. The next book that I would like to recommend to you, I'm pretty sure everyone has already read, but I feel like it has earned its spot on this list, and that is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. This follows our main character Addie LaRue, and she makes a deal with the devil so that she will live for eternity and be free. But the catch is no one will ever remember her, she can't say her name, she can't leave her mark on the world, and this book follows Addie through those 300 years as she's kind of learning to get by when as soon as she leaves a room someone forgets her, and the consequences of this is really explored and I found that particularly enjoyable. But then one day in 2014 New York City, Addie walks into a bookshop that she's previously visited and the store worker Henry remembers her, and I just loved this book so much. I found that I really fell for Henry and I really connected with him and Addie together, and I loved how strong Addie was. She kind of just lived her whole life out of spite and strength towards the devil, and even though there were a million reasons why she should have been terrified away from going after Henry, she went for it anyway, and she was just so powerful and strong. I feel like this is more the vibe that people are looking for. Of any romance I could recommend to you this year, I really recommend this. It has such a whimsical vibe. I loved it so much. And speaking of strong female characters, the next book that I'm going to recommend is A Curse So Dark and Lonely. This is a Beauty and the Beast retelling following our main characters Wren, who is this cursed prince, and Harper, who is a girl from DC who has cerebral palsy, and she gets pulled into this fantasy world where she has to fall in love with Wren in order to break the curse. What I particularly enjoyed about this and what really took me by surprise were the political elements. Our main character is so completely strong. She doesn't let the fact that she has cerebral palsy stop her doing anything at all. She is so feisty and fiery and knows her own mind and is ready to stand up for herself. And why I'm suggesting this is the romance element is obviously there. It is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, but it's not that strong in this book. This book follows them more coming to trust each other and be friends whilst dealing with the chaos that's ensuing in this fantasy world, rather than the love element. I just thought that was really nice for a Beauty and the Beast retelling, or just a romance in general, that the first book wasn't all like hot and heavy and then the second book it's like, oh, there's so many problems, you know. This felt a little bit different. For a Valentine's Day read, you can fly through it. You could definitely read this in one sitting. It reads so quickly. My next recommendation is one that I actually haven't spoken about in a while, but if you guys have been here from the start then you will remember when I read this last summer and it was all I talked about, and that is The Unexpected Everything by Morgan Matson. I would honestly recommend any of Morgan Matson's books. I love her so much, and what I particularly enjoy about this one is it's about finding love, but it's also more about finding love in your family and your friends, and Morgan Matson writes that really well. In all of Morgan Matson books she talks a lot about friendship and familial elements particularly, and this book has dogs. So this book follows our main character and she kind of has her whole life planned out. She's going to be a doctor, she's going to go on this fancy like doctor course over the summer, and her dad is a politician, but then her dad has a little bit of a scandal and she loses her place on this fancy summer program. Her whole life seems a bit up in the air, and to try and fill this now empty summer she takes on a job as a dog walker, and it's about her meeting new people, learning to be around her dad again because he is suddenly at home all the time, growing closer with her friends and realising that not everyone's lives are perfect and everyone has stuff going on. I just thought it was amazing. You can 100% read it in one sitting. It is perfect to read on Valentine's Day. And again, if you just want some like fluffy contemporary where dogs play a huge part, this is perfect. I honestly wish I had this with me at uni because I would love to reread it right now. The next book that I'm going to recommend, I actually have not read yet, but I might order it right now because I'm dying to read it, and that is Last Night at the Telegraph Club. This is an LGBTQ plus romance set in 1950s America, where I believe at least one of our main characters is of a minority background, and it follows these two women and they go to this bar or club called the Telegraph Club. It's set against this backdrop of like 1950s America, so hate and potential deportation and all kinds of strife. It gives me very San Junipero vibes, if you guys have seen that episode of Black Mirror. I just think it will be those vibes with some messages behind it too, and I really want to read this. This has been on my list for a really long time and I just haven't picked it up yet. Now, if you guys would like a complete change up from the romance and something super fast paced and isn't really going to make you think about love on Valentine's Day, you need to pick up Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson or any of its sequels. I actually have the sequel arriving today, very exciting times. So this is a YA mystery series about a main character, and she is obsessed with true crime and she gets accepted into this really elite boarding school that has a mystery slash kidnapping surrounding it, and while she's trying to solve this like really old mystery, there are modern day ones going on as well that she's trying to solve. It is so fast paced. Again, you can read this in one sitting. It looks like a big book, but you just fly through it. I loved how fast paced it was. I think you'll just get completely pulled in. You'll just be wanting to know what happened, what the mystery was. There are so many like bright and eccentric characters in this. I really do not think that you're going to be like thinking about romance or anything of the sort if you pick this up on Valentine's Day, and maybe that's what you're looking for this year. I don't want to be presumptuous about what people want for Valentine's Day, so I'm trying to create a diverse list. And the next two books I am very excited about, and again I might place another book order just to order these because I've been wanting to read them for far too long. So this book is a non-fiction and it is Everybody Else is Perfect. I think this would be perfect to read on Valentine's Day because there are all kinds of expectations about, well, everyone really having a date on Valentine's Day, but particularly women. And women are kind of presented as these like sad figures if they can't get a date on Valentine's Day, and it's just ridiculous and stupid. So maybe we should read a collection of empowering essays on Valentine's Day. So this is a collection of essays written by this hugely successful woman working in fashion, living in New York, and she's had this incredible career trajectory, and this is just a collection of essays about managing love, work, being a woman, just all kinds of things, and I just feel like this collection of essays is going to be really empowering and enlightening, and I've been wanting to read it for so long. And the final book on this list, I'm going to keep it short because why not? The final book is Under the Rainbow by Celia Laskey. This is, again, an unconventional choice. So this is about a group of queer volunteers who go into a very homophobic town in America, and they have to live there for 2 years and kind of try and awaken this town. And I haven't read this book, and I really feel like it could go either way. It could be really hopeful and enlightening and amazing, or it could be really like harrowing and dark but also amazing. I haven't read it, so I can't tell you which one it's gonna be. It's so important to try and get in the minds of other people and understand what other people are going through. There are still so many countries in the world where people will not be able to spend Valentine's Day together just because of who they are in love with, so let's open our minds to that and read about it and try to understand it a little bit more. And so there is my list of books that you should read on Valentine's Day. I hope that this was a good list. I really wasn't entirely sure which direction I wanted to take this list, so it's kind of just a thread of everything that I recommend and enjoy. People might be together doing something on Valentine's Day, people might want something really romantic, but people might also want to forget that it's Valentine's Day, and so I really wasn't sure what people would want, and I hope that you found a recommendation in here even if you don't want to read it on Valentine's Day. Thank you very much for watching, especially if you made it this far. If you did make it this far, then why not hit that big red subscribe button down below and stick around and stay tuned for future videos. I upload every Wednesday and Friday, so there is no shortage of bookish content here. I post a lot of recommendations and strange videos sometimes, so you guys can check out my channel if you would like to watch more. It would be so appreciated. Thank you again for watching. I hope you all have a very lovely Valentine's Day, whatever you're doing, and I will see you for my next video. Bye guys.